What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to rebirthedu.com. I'm your host, Kendrick, aka Oso the Great, with the last installment of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And in this chapter, Robert gives some examples of getting started. That's what this chapter is called. Lesson, what's this? Lesson 8, getting started. Okay? And none of the stuff that came before this means anything. It doesn't mean anything if you don't do something with it. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about right now. It's about getting started and putting things into action, right? But before we do, as always, hit subscribe, hit like if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you don't miss out. I'm dropping every day. We out here, fam. You need help with any of this stuff that we're talking about, hit me up. It's free, don't cost you anything. Link in the description below, right? So, so in this chapter, Robert gives a few examples of the importance of getting started. You know, he'll talk about a couple of little real estate deals that maybe start very, very small with just, with just being creative, and making something out of nothing to where maybe you make, I don't know, $20, $50, $100 passive income. And it doesn't seem like much when you do it. So a lot of people see things like that. It's like, oh man, $50 isn't worth that much work, or blah, 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 blah. You're missing all of the game. You're missing it. The point of it is for you to get started doing something. Stop sitting on your ass expecting things to come to you. Nobody's going to come knocking at your door to give you the things that you want in life. Okay? If you ask anybody if they want a regular life, right? An ordinary life. If you ask them that, you'll hear a lot of people say yes, but then let's really break down what that means. Right? Just a regular, average, run-of-the-mill life. That means you're going to spend a hot 40 years of your life, okay? Your prime years, 40 years of your life, working 40 hours a week to give 40% of your money to the tax man and the government and everybody else paying bills. And so you can retire after 40 years, and then they only pay you 40% of what you were accustomed to making your whole life. And then in return for that, what we're going to give you is we're going to give you 2 weeks a year for you to go out and have a little bit of fun. That's it. That's what we're going to give you. So that's the 40-40-40 rule, right? 40 hours a week, 40 years of your life, retire, get 40% of your money. Okay? That's an ordinary life. That's a regular life here in this country. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that sounds pretty whack to me. And that it doesn't have to be that way. When you break it down that way and you describe it to where, hey, I'm gonna give you, out of your whole life, I'm gonna give you 80 weeks, okay? That's less than 2 years for you to enjoy yourself. Your whole life. I'm gonna give you 2 years, you can have some fun. That's it. Think about that. Your whole working life. 2 years for you to enjoy your life and live it the way you want. Total. We're gonna spread it out and you're gonna get a couple weeks a year. That's it. Do you know how big this planet is? Do you know how much stuff there is to see and experience and enjoy? You know? People say, losers say that wealthy people are greedy and this, that, and the third. It's not that, man. They're not greedy. They were intentional about what they wanted to do. They made it happen. And they give more than You're comfortable because of wealthy people. Come on. Really think about this, man. The car you drive, you think broke people invented this car? You think wealthy people just sat there, ate their money, and then just didn't bring value to anybody out here? Of course they did. Everything that you enjoy out here, this whole country exists the way it does, and you get to enjoy this because somebody got off their ass and went did something and got compensated for the service that they're providing to you. Don't sit up here and think like wealthy people and rich people is super selfish, because they not, yo. They providing value to all of us. So you can miss me with that one, right? But what is everybody else, man? But consumers, you know? If you're not sitting here adding any kind of value or nothing like that, man, you don't have, I don't want to listen to you talk about everybody else that's out here really doing stuff, man. You can miss me with that too. But all of these wealthy people have something in common, is that they got up and they did something. They got a hold of this information and they were taught by a mentor or somebody, or they got interest in it in some format, and none of it meant anything until they got up and they did something. I promise you, man, these people are no different from anybody else on this planet. It's just that they didn't allow fear to dictate their lives, and they got out here and they failed and they learned and they got better. That's what they did. And you got to do that too if you want to be any kind of successful. Get out here and make mistakes. This is how we learn. Think about how you rode your bike, how you learned to ride a bike. You learned by essentially falling down until you got tired of falling down. Well, then you learned how to walk as a little baby. If some of y'all got kids, your kids fall all the time. But that's how they learn. They learn how to balance themselves. They learn how to compensate when they got their big old head. Them babies got them big monster Bobby's World head. I don't know if that's before your time. If you're watching this Bobby's World, I think it was Howie Mandel voiced Bobby, and this dude had a Megamind head way before Megamind, right? But that's how they learn. They learn by experiencing things. You're no different. You're that same kid. You're that same child learning the same way. But you have to take action, be bold, and go out and do some work. Okay? So that's what this chapter is about. It's about getting started, taking baby steps. And a lot of it is going to start with you getting your budget right. Okay? The very first step for you to start your path on attaining some kind of financial freedom, so that way you can mind your own business, you can pay yourself first, you can do all the things that you need to do that this book describes. You got to get a budget. You got to start that discipline. Okay? If you need help, again, description below. This is what I do. I'll help you out. We'll sit down together. We'll get your budget right. Come up with a plan for you to be disciplined. And you can really start this journey. Okay? And you can be a part of it with me, man. Hey, man, I'm still, I'm not exactly a rookie. But I'm very much a sophomore in this game, right? I'm not rookie of the year. I'm not any of those things. I haven't been in it that long. But this budget thing is the very, very first step. Okay? Now, while I'm out here minding my own business, you got to mind yours. You got to get your budget right. Hit me up. Book a session. It's not going to cost you a thing. I'm out here, fam. We'll see y'all for the next book.